Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to Energize Delaware's Facebook Live. My name is Angie Bivens, and I'm an energy advisor with a few of Energize Delaware's residential programs. I thank you so much for tuning in today, because if you can't tell, we have some special guests on today with a great topic. But before I jump into that, y'all know me by now. First, let me tell you a little bit about Energize Delaware. So if this is your first time tuning in, we are a nonprofit organization with over 16 programs all around energy efficiency. So we've got programs to make your home, your church, your school, your nonprofit, community building, whatever, pretty much almost any building type in Delaware. If you are thinking of making it more energy efficient, then you want to contact us first so that we can help you. We've got rebates and resources and all types of stuff. So you can check us out at energizedelaware.org, or you can always give us a call at 877-524-1339. Again, you can check out our website, energizedelaware.org, or give us a call, and we would be happy, more than happy, to tell you, to assist you in making your building more energy efficient. So with that being said, today's topic is called the Crawlspace Chronicle. And you might notice that the guest beside me actually is literally in a crawl space. I'm telling you, I'm so excited about this on today. I'm super honored to have Seaside Environmental with us. And we have Alan Luzak, if they're gonna scroll around to show him, and Nick Luzak. There's Alan. Hey, Alan. And then we also got Nick Luzak with us. Hey, Nick. And they're going to be talking to us about crawl spaces on today and why it is really important for energy efficiency to make sure you get that crawl space encapsulated. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the subject matter experts, and I'm going to allow Nick and Alan from Seaside Environmental to tell us about crawl spaces on today. So Nick, the floor is all yours.
All right, thank you, Angie. So as everybody can see, we're down here in an encapsulated crawl space that we finished up quite a while ago. So we just kind of want to go over the whole general gist of what we do and why we do it. From that first phone call that we get saying, hey, we have an issue. And so we just want to take you guys through that. So a lot of people, they always call because they have moisture issues, humidity issues, flooding issues, mold, fallen insulation in their crawl space. I think this one specifically was high humidity levels, insulation all over the place, falling down, and it was a wreck in here. So we come out, we take a look at it because every crawl space is different. There's no one way to do a crawl space. So we have to come out, take a look at it, and figure out what exactly it needs to fix it. And as you can see, it can take a lot. But so after we do the estimate, we come out, we diagnose what the problem is, what's causing it, and how to fix it. That's our first steps. And then we come in, and the first that we would do is we pull, if you look up in the floor joist here, you can tell that there's no insulation up there. So we pull all the old insulation out because the floor joists, when it gets wet and moldy down here, the floor joists are just covered in mold, and so we have to pull all that insulation out. And then what we do is we actually bring the thermal boundary to the exterior of the crawl space. So once all the insulation's out, we go ahead and we do a full mold treatment, get in here, scrub everything down, make sure everything's killed down here, and so that your crawl space is healthy and mold free. And then from there, what we do is underneath this nice white clean vapor barrier, we actually have a heavy duty plastic drainage mat. So we put that down on the ground, and then once that's down, then we start putting everything back together. You can't tell because the walls are wrapped up, but there is foam board insulation on the walls. That goes up, and like I said, we're moving that thermal boundary, and we can get into that a little bit later. We're moving that thermal boundary to the exterior of the home. And then there's also R19 fiberglass insulation up top above that in the rim joist. we air seal everything. We air seal the foundation vents. 20 years ago, during the last big building boom around this area, every house had foundation vents. That was the science of that time. Now builders are starting to figure out, hey, foundation vents don't work. We're letting all that humid air. I mean, for 6 months out of the year around here, it's super humid. So we seal all that off. Any penetrations going outside, any penetrations going up through the subfloor, anything like that gets sealed up with spray foam. And then once all the air sealing's done, then we come through and we start wrapping everything up with the vapor barrier. All the seams are tape sealed. Everything is sealed completely, so none of that ground moisture, no humidity from outside is getting in. And then the last step that we do is we put the dehumidifier in, and sometimes we put in conditioned air. Like this one in particular does have conditioned air and a dehumidifier. And so that's pretty much the gist of what we do. So like I said, the main reason people are coming in or calling us in is because they have moisture problems. What they don't understand is by encapsulating the crawl space, you kind of get a 2-for-1 deal. You're getting your moisture problems resolved, and your home also becomes a lot more energy efficient, which is where you guys come in. And it's been great working with you guys. We're getting our clients rebates on pretty much every encapsulation here in Delaware that we do. I believe this job alone got a $2,400 rebate from us doing this encapsulation. So what you guys are doing over there is great. It helps us out, helps the homeowners out, and it's just a great program to be in, and to be able to help people with their crawl spaces. So if we want to turn it over and talk about some conditioned air.
All right, I'm the older version of what you just saw. This is what Nick's going to look like in about 30 years. He'll get glasses. Everything else stays the same. So what we've done here is we've actually put some conditioned air into the crawl space. Danny, want to slide up here a little bit so you can see this vent. This crawl space has 3 of these vents in it. When the air conditioner or the heater kicks on, it dumps conditioned air into the crawl space. The reason we can do this now is because, like Nick said earlier, we've moved the thermal boundary from the floor where the insulation used to be, and now it's on the walls. So as the walls are insulated, we're taking that thermal protection and we're keeping that heat in the crawl space as long as we can. One of the hardest things that people have to wrap their head around when we talk to them about crawl space encapsulation is the fact that we're going to take the insulation out of their floor joists and make their floors warmer. Now, that goes against all convention and everything you've been taught. But the way it works is we move that thermal boundary, and the thermal boundary is defined by the insulation. Everything above the insulation would be inside the house, below the insulation would be outside the house. The way these houses were originally constructed, this ductwork and all the water pipes that are down here, they were all below the ductwork, so they were outside the house. So now we've moved them inside the house. The pipes won't freeze. The ducts stay in ambient temperature, and the bottom of the floor is being conditioned by the same temperature of the air of the house. When temperature is the same on both sides of the building surface, it will not transfer the energy. So we're not losing energy to the crawl space, and that's how your floors warm up. So it's real important to get these vents in if you can. If there's no ductwork down here, we can't condition the crawl space, but then we take advantage of the warm temperatures. The ground's about a 58 to 62 degree temperature year round. So we can take advantage of that by insulating the walls and the rim joists. So part of keeping this condition and the humidity low, this helps in the summertime because we're putting nice cool conditioned air down here. But to help in the shoulder seasons and when the humidity gets really high, we've got to put a dehumidifier down here to pick up that moisture and discharge it to the outside. I see Nick's already stationed over by the dehumidifier. So Dan, if you want to come on over here, and Nick will talk about the dehumidifier, why it's positioned, where it's positioned, why there's a duct coming out of the back of it. And it's all yours, Nick.
All right, so over here we have a dehumidifier. This is an April Air Moisture Medic, 70 pint, meaning that it can produce 70 pints of water per day. If you think about it, that's a lot of water to pull out of the crawl space. So the biggest thing that's very important that we see people get wrong a lot is you want the dehumidifier, you know, pretty centrally located in the crawl space. And a lot of times we see, you know, somebody will just stick the dehumidifier right over by the door. Okay, that's good for, you know, that corner of the house, but you know, you can see as we've been panning around, there's a pretty large footprint that we have down here. So if you put the dehumidifier in the corner, you know, it's not getting anywhere to the other parts of the house. So what we do is, you know, we try to get it centrally located like we have here. And then a lot of the times what we do, especially in these larger crawl spaces, is we'll run duct systems off the back. So all the shiny metal stuff on the back of the dehumidifier, that's what you see there. So, you know, in this one, we have a duct running on one side, we have another duct running to the other side. And that helps distribute that dehumidified air throughout the crawl space. That way, you know, we're not just dehumidifying one small corner of the crawl space. You know, we're actually getting that air all the way throughout. And the same concept goes for conditioned air as well. A lot of times we have to run ductwork off of the supply main here that I'm laying under, and get that conditioned air to the different areas of the crawl space. And that's the key thing. We run into a lot that there's not enough conditioned air in a crawl space, or the dehumidifier is just in the corner. So what the dehumidifier does, it works just like the thermostat on your house. So we'll set the relative humidity level, you know, where we want it. In a crawl space, we want it below 60% humidity. Anything above 60% humidity, that's when mold can start to grow and colonize, and that's when we have issues. So the whole purpose of the encapsulation from a moisture standpoint is to keep those humidity levels down, keep the wood moisture content levels down. Below wood moisture content, we want to see that below 15%. So the dehumidifier, like I was saying, runs just like your thermostat. You set it to the set point. Normally about 48, 52% is a pretty happy medium because you don't want it running all the time. So we set it, and then it takes an air sample. And then when that air sample reads above that set point, it'll turn itself on. And then once it gets below that set point, it turns itself off. And then, so you might be asking, okay, well, where's all that water go? All right, so on the other side, I don't know if you can see it under there, there's a condensate pump. That's where the dehumidifier drains to. And then we pump the water outside. We get that out to the exterior of the house. So I think we're panning over to the condensate pump. You can see it right there. And so the dehumidifier is a very vital, important part of encapsulation and crawl spaces. And I always tell people the biggest thing is making sure the dehumidifier is always working. And there's different monitors, thermostats, Wi-Fi enabled stuff that we use for the homeowner to make sure, hey, my humidity levels in my crawl space are below 60%. I think we have a monitor sensor down here somewhere that's hooked up to the homeowner's phone, so they can always check it. So that's the biggest thing is with the dehumidifiers is one, getting a good brand. Like I said, we always use Aprilaire. This is a Moisture Medic Aprilaire 70 pint, and they're the best on the market that we have found. So we like to get the dehus in here, and like I said, just make sure that they're constantly in working order, and just like anything else mechanical, stuff like dehumidifiers, sump pumps, if there's a drain system, if this crawl space is flooding. It's all mechanical stuff, so you know we do need to get back in here and check on this stuff. The dehumidifier, this one in particular, does have a washable filter that needs to be cleaned every once in a while. So making sure that the upkeep, it's not just, you know, okay, we encapsulated it, it's done. You know, you got to make sure that the upkeep, you know, just like a car, you got to change the oil every few thousand miles. So that's the pretty much everything with the dehumidifier. We're gonna pan on over and see what Alan has to say.
Cameraman, you want to slide on over here. Got want to show you some of the air sealing that goes on in the crawl space. So Nick had said before, you get the perimeter sealed up and seal up all the penetrations. And the biggest penetrations in the crawl space are the tub traps. That's where they cut the hole in the floor to let the piping come through the floor so they can put the P trap in. And if you're Dan, you're gonna have to slide on over here. Get that way. I'll come up over here. Hand me this and I'll show you. This is the tub trap. Can you see that? Right here is where the hole was. And then Nick sealed that off and air sealed it so no air is communicating with the house. You want to make sure that the air is cut off from the house. You want to disconnect the crawl space from the house. So a lot of that air sealing gets done. All these pipe penetrations get sealed. And everything is done. Then when all this work is done, all the air sealing is done, I take another reading at the end, and then we see how tight the house.
Hey guys, I think we froze a little bit. There we go. Okay, we're good.
Gotcha. All right, now Dan, if you pan right up over your head, there's that duct from the dehumidifier. The dehumidifier go all the way in the center of the crawl space, and this duct sends that air coming out of the back of the dehumidifier. It's warm and dry, so that this air pushes through here and pushes the air back to the dehumidifier, so we get good circulation in the crawl space. That's what we want. Again, if we want to show the wall with the insulation on it here, I'll take that from you. And Nick had said earlier about the insulation on the wall, and here you'll see this is R10 2-inch foam board insulation, and then we seal this gap all the way around the top to keep the moisture from getting up over top of that. And then underneath the termite shield is sealed as well, because that's the air gap where air gets in and can get in through the sill plate. So that's sealed all the way around the entire perimeter. And then up on top, we have the sill gasket that's put in here by the construction people, and that keeps it sealed as well. So we've got a lot of air sealing going on to make sure that this house maintains good humidity levels and that the moisture stays out and the cold air as well. It's pretty cold out today, but it's very, very comfortable down here today. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much the process.
It sounds like it's not that much, but there's a lot that goes into crawl spaces. And you know, like I said earlier, what we try to do is not run as long as hard, so you're prolonging life of that. This one doesn't have actually, I'd say more often than not, the HVAC unit itself is that
Hey guys, I think we might need to move a little closer to the door. You're breaking up on me a little bit. So we're getting like every word. I know now it's a mad rush back around, right? Commando crawling.
Back at boot camp.
All right. So like I was saying before we lost connection, when you have pipes and HVAC equipment down here, when you encapsulate it, you're also protecting that. You're lowering your energy bills, so it's just a win-win pretty much all the way around.
Comfort.
Yeah, your house becomes a lot more comfortable. Like we touched on earlier, by doing this, a lot of people also a complaint that they have no clue why it's happening is that they have cold floors. So by moving the thermal boundary, putting heat and air down here and conditioning it, we resolve those issues. So there's a lot that goes in. It's not just putting white fancy plastic all over the place. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes into the actual home performance portion and energy efficiency portion of encapsulating a crawl space. And that's what we strive to do is do it right. So you get the moisture control and the home performance benefits. And yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Nice. Well, let me, if it's okay, I just have a few quick questions I'd like to ask you.
All right.
But you guys did an amazing job of explaining everything. I mind blown. I didn't think it was just putting down plastic, but I also didn't know it was that in depth. So thank you for that. The first question I have that kind of came to mind, about how long does it take to do the process that you've mentioned? So everything that you've done in this space, about how long did that take you guys to do?
This one, I believe, took us about 4 to 5 days. It's not a, come in here and get it done in a day kind of thing. It's all day grinding down here. For most jobs take about a week, a full work week. Some, depending upon the scope of work, they can go longer. A lot of the times we have to dig a drain system. That adds a couple days right there. Because you gotta, you see how cramped and tight it is here. Imagine digging a big trench all the way around it and then bringing in a couple tons of gravel to backfill that. So that takes up a little bit more time. And so I'd say on average, it's about a week to get it done.
Okay. That's still, I was expecting for some reason, okay, maybe this is just my girly mind, but I was expecting you to say like a few weeks. So like 4 or 5 days or even a week, I thought was great. So amazing. The next question I have for you is just going to be a repeat. I know you've already said it a few times, but just for our viewers, I do like to repeat things like this. So what is the main benefit of having your crawl space encapsulated?
So the main benefit, like we touched on earlier, is you're containing that moisture problem. You're resolving your moisture issues. You're getting rid of your mold, and like we said, your whole home becomes more energy efficient, more comfortable,
Healthy.
and it just makes your house a healthy home. Healthy as in getting rid of the mold, and also healthy as in your energy bills. Everything just starts operating better. You're protecting your HVAC equipment, your ductwork's not drawing in nasty, wet, humid air into your house. A lot of times we get in, and, you'll have a return duct just wide open to the crawl space, and people get a musty mildew smell in their house, and you're pulling that 90% humidity air into your house. So the main benefits are getting rid of the mold, containing that moisture problem, and your comfort, your overall comfort and health of the house.
Nice. Thank you for that. And then I just got one more question.
All right.
So once your space is encapsulated, and I think you did touch on this earlier too, what type of maintenance would a homeowner be looking to do even once this work is done?
Yep. So like I said earlier, with the dehumidifier, it is a piece of equipment. It is a machine. So there are filter changes that need to happen. We like to come into the crawl spaces. We offer maintenance programs to come in normally like 1 to 4 times a year, and we'll change the filters. any mechanical components, the dehumidifier, the sump pumps, the condensate pumps. We just make sure that those are still working as they should. Get everything cleaned up and just come in here and make sure that the crawl space looks exactly how it does the day we left it. That's the main goal. And like I said earlier, just keeping everything running. And realistically, it's not that much work to keep everything running. It's just staying on top and monitoring. Monitoring is very important. Make sure that the humidity levels stay down.
Awesome. Well, one more time, let me say thank you, thank you, thank you to Seaside Environmental. Thank you to Nick Luzak. Thank you to Alan Luzak. And we have our very own Dan McBride, who's been in there playing camera guy the whole time. Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Welcome, Angie.
Thank you guys so much. This has been just a wealth of information, but we don't want to leave the audience hanging. So for anybody watching that's thinking, you know what, maybe I should look more into my crawl space or what's going on with my home, I first do want to tell you, as mentioned earlier, you can actually get a rebate. We give money back through Energize Delaware's Home Performance with Energy Star. And we do have a rebate that deals with your crawl space. So the client that went through the program and had this done actually received $2,400. Is that correct?
Yes, I do believe so.
Yes, $2,400 back just for this space alone. So you definitely want to look into this. So if you're interested in the Home Performance with Energy Star program, which is going to let you know the energy efficiency of your entire home, then you definitely want to reach out to us at 877-524-1339, or you can also sign up by going to energizedelaware.org. If you have more specific questions and you want to reach out to Seaside Environmental, I don't want to leave them hanging. Nick, can you give the contact information for your company, please?
So you can give us a call at 302-569-2500. You can find us on the web at thecrawlspacepeople.com. Again, we call it the Crawl Space People because this is all we do. This is what we specialize in. This is what we do every day. You can also find us on Facebook, just Seaside Environmental. If you search that, you'll find us there. Shoot us a message on there. You can send us a message through the website. Give us a call. Whatever you want to do to get a hold of us, and we'll get out there and diagnose your problems and get your crawl space squared away for you.
Amazing. And Seaside Environmental is tagged in this video. So if you wanted to find their Facebook page, you can also see them in the video. There's Alan for me. So again, thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you for educating our audience and me too. And you know what? You never know. You could be back again in 2021 to show us some more. So hopefully so. In the meantime, anyone who's curious about our programs, I can't stop plugging it. Please go to our website, give us a call. Now, we will not be doing a Facebook Live next Thursday due to Christmas Eve, or the following Thursday due to New Year's Eve. So I'm so sorry, guys. I'll miss you for 2 weeks. But when we come back, the first Thursday in January, we'll have a brand new topic. I will have a brand new guest, and I'm looking forward to what they can tell us. So hands go out to Seaside Environmental. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to anybody else watching, like I said, feel free to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, website, however, but get in contact with us if you want to make your home or building more energy efficient. So to everybody, I say have an amazing afternoon, have a happy holiday, and please stay safe and save some energy. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Bye-bye.